Gaming tech that time forgot, the Wii MotionPlus. Yeah, it looks quite small on the screen. But before we talk about that, we of course need to talk about this thing, the humble Wiimote. Now, the Wiimote was an innovative piece of technology, and by that I mean it was incredibly overhyped for how advanced it was. Yeah, you know, these ads made it look like, you know, it could detect like exact movements, when in reality this thing could barely, you know, read what direction it was being moved. Yeah, but in reality this thing was a glorified TV remote that just had an accelerometer in it, which if you didn't know is read speed or acceleration. Yeah, it's acceleration, isn't it? I just wanted to say speed to put a picture of Lightning McQueen on the screen. Great for simple things like bowling and golf where it was just movement in one direction, but yeah, it was gonna struggle with anything more advanced than that, which then introduces the Nugget. In 2009, Nintendo finally let Wii owners do what they'd been hoping to do for years: overcompensate. Yeah, these two don't match. I don't have a black controller or a white MotionPlus, so if this annoys you, good. Yeah, this thing is essentially just a gyroscope in a bit of plastic. To keep it short and simple, it basically allowed for accurate readings of position in more than one axis, which is to say when I do this, the Wiimote knows. As previously shown, it simply just plugged into your controller like this, and actually had a lock as well, just in case. And don't worry about nunchucks, it still had another connection on the end, so you can, you know, have a pass all the way through. And for purposes of demonstration, it just popped off like that. Ta-da. Now when I came to the lock, yeah, I never actually, you know, had to use this thing. Of course you'd still turn it on anyway, but like it was never moved around enough that it was gonna come off. Then again, this thing was designed for casual gamers and soccer moms who were probably gonna find some way of launching it through your dad's new plasma TV that he'd only let you use on Christmas. So suffice to say, look, not a bad idea. Now of course, because this thing was more advanced than your standard Wiimote, you did need to occasionally calibrate the thing. Usually when you first started playing a game, and sometimes, you know, halfway through it just kind of went off calibration. This should have been a simple task, you know, just place it on a flat surface. But yeah, try get a group of 8-year-olds together with no patience who just want to fly a plane. Try get them to do this, it's gonna take a while. Now as previously mentioned, and you could probably visually see, this thing did make your Wiimote bigger, and did kind of throw the balance off a little bit in all honesty. Not too much, like it's still, you know, a reasonably sized controller, but it did feel a bit less maneuverable. I don't know why I'm doing this like it's ebbing and flowing or something like that, but yeah, it did feel a bit less maneuverable than your standard Wiimote. Worth mentioning, they did also have a bigger jacket for this thing. I don't actually own the bigger one because you can't tell this is second hand, but yeah, there was a bigger jacket that extended all the way down over this thing. I never actually used the jackets. I don't know why anybody did. Like, I've launched these things off walls and they still work. So why you'd need this thing? I try to get. There you go. It's gone. Why you'd need that thing, I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, seeing as the balance of your Nintendo Magic Stick was now a bit thrown off, they did of course release the Wii MotionPlus, or Wii Plus, or Wii Motion. WiiMotePlus, I think it's called, in which they basically just crammed all of the technology in this thing into one, you know, compact package. This thing then, of course, did become the standard Wiimote going forward into the Wii U era. God love it. Mine's also pink. Why? I'm not exactly sure. Don't judge me. But yeah, this thing, quite useful. This has basically become my standard Wiimote now, and it's all. I think it's just kind of funny that it is pink. That's kind of why I use it. Now, why did Nintendo go through all of this trouble to make, you know, the Wiimote more accurate in the first place, when in reality most people, you know, weren't even gonna notice? It was, of course, to sell more games, with improved motion controls, of course, offering more options for developers. Now, a lot of games did actually include support for the MotionPlus, but funnily enough, very few of them actually required it, which I kind of find funny that they put so much money into developing this thing, and, you know, very few games actually used it. Now, a good few, as I said, in the Wii U era would go on and use it a lot more. Like in Nintendo Land, it kind of became, obviously, a requirement to have a, you know, MotionPlus, but in the Wii era, not so much. In fact, I have 3 of the games that actually flat out required it right here. First one, of course, being the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Next one was Wii Play Motion. I recently covered this in a short. And the final one, the one everybody knows, is of course Wii Sports Resort. Now, all 3 of these things were actually either bundled with the Wii MotionPlus accessory or the, you know, Wii Mote Plus thing. Yeah, all 3 of these basically did, you know, come in a bundle with the remote included. You didn't actually have to go out and buy the game and then buy the remote. Nintendo were fairly okay in that regard, and they all use this new technology in different ways, especially these two because the amount of, different games they actually have in them. Wii Sports Resort is the one that the MotionPlus is, of course, most remembered for. It's one of the best selling Wii games of all time. It was the one that was originally bundled with it, and it's a sequel to the best selling Wii game of all time, so kind of stands to reason this one was the most popular. And it actually had a fair few different uses for the Wiimote itself. Of course, sword fighting was, one of the main ones people remember. Frisbee was also quite a unique one. Island Flyover is a completely overrated game mode, by the way. I don't know why everybody loves it so much. And yeah, it does do all of these things fairly accurately, although there is a limit. Like, if you are swinging this thing and just going like that, it will start to go out of sync because it's not perfect. In fact, the game that probably handles it best is Wii Play Motion, simply for the fact that most of the minigames in this thing are fairly simple and don't really, strain this thing too much. I mean, one of the minigames is literally just doing this with the Wiimote because you're meant to be imitating a fishing reel. Like, it's hard to strain the technology inside it with that. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword is probably the most complex and constant use of the Wii MotionPlus. Basically, the entire game uses it because you either use it as a sword for combat, alongside how you control your loft wing, the flying creature yoke, which is a major mechanic in this game. I've kind of been ticking away at this game, not really massively into the Zelda franchise, but I've actually quite enjoyed what I've played of this so far, so I expect a video coming soon on that as well. But yeah, this is probably the most engaged you use the Wii MotionPlus. Like, you're actually going around and I don't even know how to describe it, to be honest. Like, you're walking around controlling, swinging, fighting, doing this, that, and the other. Funnily enough, the biggest letdown of this game is actually the nunchuck itself, which I didn't even know had motion controls in it until this point. But yeah, like, you lift it as the shield and it just rarely works. Maybe it's just this nunchuck. I have like 4 different ones and I know one of them doesn't work the greatest, so it could have been this one. But yeah, Zelda is probably the game that makes the most consistent use of the Wii MotionPlus. Stop rattling. So the Wii MotionPlus, what legacy does this thing hold? Not really much. I mean, yeah, people are gonna look fondly back on, Wii Sports Resort. And honestly, that's about it. Like Skyward Sword is one of the least popular Zelda games purely for the reason of motion controls. Wii Play Motion is kind of just, it's forgotten. I did a video on that recently as well, but like, it wasn't really like a standout title, and like people weren't jumping out to like buy one of these things. Like, it kind of just became the de facto controller of the Wii U by the gamepad. That's about it. It's not to say this thing, didn't do well and isn't an important part of gaming, technology. It's just a bit like, it's like you don't think about going, oh, I just need my MotionPlus, and going out and grabbing it and plugging it in and going, right, I'm gonna play now. Like, there wasn't a massive amount of thought to it. It was just kind of this simple add-on, or it was either built in. So a lot of people do kind of forget about it. So for once, I've actually, accurately portrayed the title of this video into the thing I am covering, which is a big win for me. Anyways, yeah, comment below your memories of this thing, any games I might have glanced over that this thing used, and of course, everyone, subscribe for more.